but I'm hoping that we see some.
How are you? If there's any, never mind.
Go ahead.
If there's anything that I am forgetting to mention, or you need me to go over if I'm speaking too fast, just let me know,
Okay.
and I'll slow it down. So.
Okay, I'm not worried. I think.
All right. Well, I get a little. The Latin in me comes out, and I start speaking faster and faster. But I'll try to keep it low.
I love that. I understand. I actually have two computers in front of me to pay attention to the live stream to see when people tune in so that we can actually start. I need to unpin this from the top. Okay. We have no viewers yet, but okay. Okay, so to anyone, actually we do have one viewer right now. To anyone who is watching, hello and welcome to Fridays at 4 with PunkinFutz, and this is actually a spin-off live stream from our Wednesdays at noon, which have been going extremely well and we're super excited about, and we're so happy to be here with anyone who is tuning in. To all the kiddos, hello, hi, welcome, and I'm Shanique Ruiz, and I'm on team here at PunkinFutz, and super happy to be here with everyone today. I just want to take the time to say hello and thank you so much to our frontline workers, and thank you to everyone from delivery drivers to mail persons to pharmacists, to anyone who's on the front lines who are making it possible for us to stay safe at home, doctors, nurses, everyone. Thank you, and we respect you, we love you, and we appreciate you. So, and I also want to take this time to say that for anyone who is watching and has a comment or a question, we will be checking periodically throughout the live stream for questions and any comments that you might have, and there might be a small lag, so please bear with us. Hi, Rebecca. We have our guest on with us right now, as you can see, and I will let him introduce himself because I think he does that very well. So, Florencio, you can go ahead.
Well, thank you, Shanique, and thank you, PunkinFutz, for having me on your show today. I'm Florencio Flores-Palomo. I am the founder and executive director of Reach Swim. It is a learn to swim program geared to the special needs population. We run a program in the Bronx, New York. We've been around for nearly 5 years. I have been working with special needs children for 30 years, everything from land activities to swimming. For the last 25 years, I dedicated to swim specifically. But we have every child as early as 6 months, all the way up to teens, and we are now taking some adults, and every spectrum of disability and ability. What we like to say is we welcome all abilities and needs, and we focus on quality swim lessons to those people who far too often are left out and marginalized and not being able to participate in any swim programs. So with my experience for 25 years and the training of my staff, we're very proud to say over the last 5 years, we have taught nearly 1,000 special needs children how to have swim independence. And we're very excited about it. Looking forward to many, many more years to come.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy to have you here with us doing this. So thank you so much again for being our first guest on Friday.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
And I love your shirt. I think it's awesome. If you guys can't read that,
it's our Reach Swim. It's our staff shirt that we wear proudly around New York City. And again, just to go back to you again, we want to extend our thank yous to everybody who you had mentioned before. The first responders here in New York are doing a great job, especially the delivery people who are, making deliveries and keeping us fed. So thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm actually going to take this time now. You guys may not know this for everyone who's watching. Hi, Dylan. Dylan is watching. You guys may not know this, but we're actually going to have Lisa and Buster come in. So I'm going to have them come up on the screen right now.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa and Buster.
You say hi. Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Doing well. So I very, very happy and very, very honored to be welcomed by your organization to speak today about this time we need to really learn how to relax. I mean, not only especially adults, but especially our children. This is new normal for them. They're not with their friends. They're not with their normal learning environment. So in speaking with Lisa and Shanique, what I'm trying to think of, or trying to present to families, is ways that can get their children to relax. What we do at our swim academy to get kids more focused and really prepare them to really learn. And over the years, it worked very, very well for us. Very simple things that I think parents can do, whether it be right before a lesson, during a lesson, or even throughout the day, even just coming up to them and helping them, even when they're asking them how they're doing. Little techniques that can actually just calm them down. Again, getting them focused, which I think is really key right now. So, yes.
I was just going to interject. A lot of these things that we're going to talk about today will actually help with parents and children who are experiencing homeschooling and distance learning also right now. So that's a part of the reason why we are having this first live stream directed towards children who might need these relaxation techniques for that distance learning time or homeschooling and ways to calm them down during this transition. So we really hope that this will be able to help for that as well. So you go ahead.
Exactly. And thank you for mentioning that, because the other thing with that is all my stretching techniques and all my focusing techniques are really about connecting with the child and connecting with them. Because whether you are a teacher teaching swimming or right now a parent thrown into this, I need to be the teacher now in this remote learning environment, connect with your child, connect with them and let them know that you are there and that you hear them and that you see them and that they are part of the program and part of the process. And you will see you're going to have so much better results with them. So if Lisa and Buster, if you're ready, I'd like to begin with something that we always do with our swim academy. And again, this is specific. It's not specific for our swim. We do it for swim, but you don't need a pool to do this, which is a great thing. So the first thing is a very simple palm and inner hand relaxation. So I'm going to show you if you want to hold up your hand, Buster, I'm going to show you that right now. And Lisa, as a parent, I want you to get your thumb and place it right in the middle of his hand. And as you do this, you can look at him, and you're going to look at me right away. You can look at him, and you can put the back of your fingers, if you see me, on the back of his hand. And you just want to almost have the same grip as if you're just holding your child in a gentle way and softly start in circular motions, putting a little bit of pressure in the hand. And you can do a circle H, you can do an S, or you can just keep it motion. And what has worked for us is the same rhythm that you use as you're working with the hand is the same tone you're speaking with. So, for example, what we like to do when we're rubbing their hands is not let the child focus on what we're doing. And you can also rub the back, and you can alternate front and back. Taps are really good as well. But keep that motion going. Ask them, are you ready to learn today? You know what we're going to do? We're going to learn how to breathe today. We're going to do math today. We're going to do art today. What are you excited about? So are there any things you're going to study today, Buster, that you're excited about?
I guess I can go over like what I did in school, I guess, because
Was there a favorite subject that you had today that you studied?
Well, we had a test for history, so there's that.
Oh, very nice. How did it go? Did it go
It
good?
went pretty well, I think. I mean, I
Well,
hope.
I'm sure it did. Now, and these just right here, this simple conversation that I'm having with Buster, these are things you can do. It doesn't have to be specific about what you're going to learn. Oftentimes, and then also you can switch hands, and you can switch the other hand.
Florencio?
Yes, ma'am.
Florencio, I noticed that as I'm doing this, Buster's muscles are relaxing.
Oh, very good. And I was just going to mention that.
Did you notice? So his arm went from really stiff. He started to really relax his arm. Exactly.
And it's amazing when you do that, because a lot of kids will come in and they'll be tight. And the more you do it, the more they relax. And it really is getting them really pliable. And you can use both hands. And just like I was speaking with Buster, you speak about what you're doing today. It doesn't have to be about what they're going to learn. Hey, what are we going to eat tonight? Hey, what do you think we should make for dinner? Anything that relaxes them. Pick a favorite subject. A lot of our kids love video games. They love different things. Pick a favorite subject to them to get them focused with what you're saying, and a little by little start rubbing their hands. And as Lisa just pointed out, you're going to see their bodies kind of just give into the relaxation and really getting them ready for that. So it sounds good? Good job, Buster. Good job, Lisa.
Yeah.
And Lisa, any other feedback with that? How'd that feel? Do you have any questions for me?
It was actually really nice for me. I'll tell you that. I found it really comforting and calming. And so it's really funny, as Buster relaxed, and that wasn't something that I told him or that we talked about in advance. His whole body his shoulders relaxed. I felt his arm relaxed. That's really interesting.
Good. And
how did it feel like for you?
Busterman, what'd that feel like for you?
It felt like there was somebody rubbing my hand, and then I talked about my history test.
And that's exactly what we want you to be thinking about, Buster. We don't want you to be thinking about the mechanics of what we're doing. We want you to just to be focused on the conversation. And without you even realizing it, Buster, your body's relaxing. Your body's getting ready, and your body is basically saying, I like this.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever you're going to tell me next. So therefore, you're going to be more relaxed and more focused. So it's a little trick we do. And as Lisa pointed out, what we like as instructors is it gets us excited too. Because when we see them relax, we're like, okay, we can do this. They're ready for me. And then we know when to begin. So all the techniques that we're doing today are focused on things you can do, basically what you usually do with your child, and just adding a stretch element to that. The next one is something you can do with your child. You can do it with him. You can do it across the dinner table, breakfast table, as they're learning, as they're watching TV, whatever they're doing. You can say, hey, let's just take a little stretch break. And you can make a little fun out of it. It's across the body arm stretch. So I'm going to go back a little bit so everybody can see me. The one thing you want to do is you want to go right here, and you want to grab this back of your arm. You want to grab it with your hand. You don't want to pull your front. You want to be right here, right by the elbow. And you just want to, with this hand, you want to bring your arm forward, but you don't want it not too far up here, right here, right at the back of the arm, right here. And you want to just gently bring that across and make sure it's straight across, Buster. So you want to lift your arm a little bit more up. There you go. And then just bend it over.
This is kind of helpful for me too.
Yeah. And right? And the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to stretch it out. If you feel that your body is twisting, you don't want to do that. You just want to have only your arm, and you don't want to stretch it so much that there's pain. Just a nice little soft, and then you relax. And then you want to do it with the other arm and stretch it over. And
where should we feel the stretch?
You're gonna feel the stretch right back in the back of your body, as well as you'll feel it in the upper shoulder and a little bit through the back of the arm. And Mom,
I'm feeling it right here. Right.
And again, depending on where your arm is positioned, you're gonna feel the stretch in different ways. Really, really high up, you're gonna feel it up in the shoulder. Down, you'll feel it lower. And just like that, Lisa, you can get behind him, Lisa, and you can be the one bringing his arm forward. Exactly. You can do that for him, Mom. And you can just really nice and really relax.
He says he feels it right here. So he's feeling it more in the front of his arm, and I feel it more behind my shoulder.
And where you're gonna feel it, let's say anywhere in the back of the upper body of the arm. You know, if you're feeling it in your foot, you're doing a little bit wrong. But anywhere you're doing it up above, you're gonna be fine.
Again, you're earlobe.
Exactly. You're just getting your body nice and relaxed, and really a simple relax. We're not getting ready to run a marathon just yet. It's just to really relax, you know, to get those muscles going. And then, of course, you switch to the other arm as well, and you stretch it out. And then again, kids can do this at the dinner table. It's something that maybe before you're eating, say, all right, before we actually begin today, let's just do a little stretch. You can do it in the breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, or, hey, we're going to watch a new movie. Hey, let's do a little stretch before we get on that couch. Really nice basic moves. Moving on to more stretches, we're going to use the arms again. Again, all the stretches that we're doing are very basic, so that way kids can have fun with it. It's very simple. It doesn't bore them, and it's something we can do really quickly. The next arm.
Just the thing, Buster had to run off to.
Okay, I was speaking a little bit more. So good, Buster. I'm glad you're back.
It's allergy season here in Brooklyn, so.
Oh yeah, trust me. I think the one good thing of this quarantine is keeping me inside, or else my eyes would be tearing up right now. My allergy would be. I think this is the best time I've ever had my allergies in the last probably 30 years. So it's a little good thing about quarantine. So the last thing we're gonna do as far as with our arms, Buster, and see if you can do this. Very simple. All I want you to do is stretch up. It's probably something you do every day. So stretch up. And with your hand, reach up like you're pointing for something, like you're reaching really high. And take a big breath. And then let it down. And then let's go the other way.
Do we lower our arm as we exhale?
Well, you can slowly take it up and then exhale. The good thing about these questions, and that's a good question, Lisa. The good thing about these stretches, there's no really right or wrong way to do it, as long as you follow the basics. You don't want to overstretch, but how you breathe, when you breathe, as long as you do it normally. You don't want to do anything during these stretches that doesn't feel right. And if at any time it doesn't feel right, there's pain or awkward, just don't do that. You're doing it wrong, so just take it back. So again, you want to move up and stretch up really high. And then back down. And the one thing you want to do differently as well, to stretch out the different parts of your upper body, is you can pick something in your room. You can pick, even parents can pick this, pointing to a light, and you can point in that direction and then reach forward into the direction of a light, a poster, a window, anything. And then as you do that, lift towards it, reach towards it. And these are good. You can, exactly, and then down. And you can do it over. And Mom, and the good thing about this as well is you can get behind them and reach with them. So in addition to them reaching for it, you're reaching for it and you're getting a good stretch. And you can just really point and you can just stretch them really nice.
And down. How about we'll reach for the tree? Ready? And breathe in. Breathe.
Oh, that's excellent, Lisa. That is excellent. And Buster, how do you feel? Are you feeling a little bit more relaxed?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like less tense. Yeah.
Excellent. That's exactly what we want you to do. That's exactly what we want you to feel. And throughout the day, Buster, if you're doing this on your own, anytime, I want to suggest this to you. Inside your house, if you're going to go from one activity to the other, or even just one room to the other, you can do this. I would say do this throughout the day, 3 times a day. It just really helps, especially now that we're in quarantine, that we're in self-isolation, and we're not moving around as much as we are. And it's probably good for everybody across the country. We're not going out and playing. The kids aren't going out and playing. They're not doing very basic activities, walking up the stairs, walking down the stairs, reaching for things. So I think, yes, ma'am.
So a comment about that. I was talking to a mom last week or earlier this week about the fact that kids are finding it really tiring to sit in front of a computer, which is funny. We're all hearing that our children are more tired now than they would be in a regular class day. And I think part of it is because, like, for hours, they sit in the same position Whereas if they were in class, they would stand up, they would move to a different room, they'd move to a different spot. And so I think that even just the idea of in between every class that they're taking now online, if they did some sort of stretch, that it might help kids not to feel so drained at the end of the day by this sitting in the same place, which they're not used to. I like that idea.
Even if you can, Lisa, if people are out there and they're learning remotely on a laptop, take it to different rooms. Okay, math is in the kitchen. Reading is in the living room. Take it to that. Change
That's a great idea.
If you can. Because
that's funny.
Provide them with routine. That's going to provide them with a little bit of motion, a little bit of movement, and make it a little more exciting. And it'll be fun. And then I always love to include my kids in the process. So even though in swimming, hey, you want to swim on your back or your tummy today or blow bubbles? Now, sometimes they say, we want to go to Disney World. Oh, we can't go to Disney World. That's not an option. Yeah. So what we like to do is include them in the process. So maybe throughout the day you can say, okay, what room do you want math being taught in? Or maybe there's a favorite room that they want to do the whole day in. But just as you have witnessed, during each break, or even if it's a long class, take a stretch break. Take a stretch break. Make it fun, and really, because it's the lack of activity that is making them tired, not necessarily sitting in one place. It's what's not going on in between those classes. And it's a new normal for all of us. And again, if we make a little bit of a task out of our more ordinary day routine, we can get in some stretching and make it a little bit more fun. This is a new normal for all of us, and our parents are going through such a new way of life, and it's throwing everything off. But I think the key is going to be finding a routine, finding some way to make it exciting. And I think engaging your child, having them stretch, just like Buster said, making them feel less tense is going to make mom and dad feel less tense, and it's going to make for a better day. And with that, I have one last stretch that I want to talk about, which I think is something that I love doing. We can do it to ourselves. I think at this time of the nation needs a little bit of hug. We need to hug ourselves at some point. I call it the hug. It really is just an upper body stretch. But the reason I call it a hug is because when you do this, just thinking of a hug itself is already putting you into a nicer, calmer place. So it's very simple. And what I also love about this, parents can go up from behind their children throughout the day and hug them as they're studying, not realizing they're actually, like Buster didn't realize earlier, that you're actually stretching them out as well. So very simple. We're going to start with what we can do for ourselves. You can tell your kids, hey, Buster, hey, Shanique, hug yourself. Let's do a little hug right now. All you do is you hug. It makes a difference how you do it. And you just, instead of trying to hug your body and squeeze your body, what you're trying to do is bring your arms closer to behind you. So pull this way and this way. It's almost like you want to reach really big and hug you. And when you feel that stretch, you can go even tighter, or you can also do it lighter and lighter and lighter. What we like to do with the kids, we like to do it in stages. It's like, okay, let's hug a little bear. Let's hug Mama Bear, and then we can hug Daddy Bear, and we hug really, really tight. Or even you can do it with the child who maybe isn't into, we do it with a lot of younger kids. We can do it with anything. Lightly, harder, and the hardest. I always talk with our little boys, and we say, we want to do, monster hugs. Monster hugs are really big, so they can get in their mind how they can go at the strongest and really relax them. Mom, what you can do is you can go behind Buster and you can hug him from behind. And as you're hugging him from behind, you can get your arms a little bit beneath his shoulders. So you might need to crouch down just a little bit, or across their arms, Mom. Bring your arms across his body. There you go. So your arms, there you go. Now just hug him a little bit more. So that way in his shoulders, he feels that stretch. And it's good for you too. And then Mom, you can just, very good. And you can do that. That's something you can do as you're watching him watch a movie, as you're watching him do his homework, as you're watching him decide what he wants to do. Something you can do throughout the day. Again, it's one of those things, as you mentioned, Lisa, that's going to help them relax. And what Buster said, help them feel less tense, and again, connect to your child. All these stretches that I was talking about is really about connecting to the child. I think our success, one of the successes we've had with Reach and teaching kids whose focus issues aren't necessarily as strong as others, teaching them how to swim and teaching them how to be proficient swimmers wasn't so much the techniques that we taught how to swim, but getting them relaxed and making that connection with the child. And when you connect with that child and you look them in their eyes and you're rubbing their hands, asking them about their day, asking them what they want to do today, it lets them know you're listening, that they're important, and they're part of the program. And with that, you're going to set the stage for a really great learning experience for them. And I think now is a very integral time that our parents know that. I was speaking to a parent earlier this week, and I let them know that oftentimes our kids, when they come back from a vacation or they come back from spending the weekend or another place with their parents, they're not concerned about where they went per se or the things that they got, or even at the holidays, they're like, I spent time with mommy and daddy. Yeah. We made this, or my mom made me some cereal, or she made me some spaghetti. And the look of their eyes, it wasn't about how good the spaghetti was. It wasn't how fancy it was. It was about that connection. And I think parents... What's that?
So funny thing you should mention about that. We were just talking yesterday about the fact that we get to have lunch together now. We haven't had lunch together in, I don't know, 7 years. You know what I mean? Wow. So for us, it's lunch together on a weekday. You know, we get to have lunch together, which is just such a little thing, but it's such a great treat to actually eat lunch together. It's weird.
It's one of those yes, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to ask you, I have a question. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Do you have is there any relaxation breathing exercise that you do with your kids or that you know of that you might recommend?
Well, the one thing that we do is for breathing to get in and calm down. A lot of our kids, and that's an excellent question, and thank you for asking, Lisa. A lot of our kids get very excited when they come into the pool. They love swimming. This is one activity that they have been counting the days to. And so their energy is really high and they're breathing really high. What we do very simply is we just say, slow down, let's count. And we actually have them count, but we guide them. So if we ask a little kid, okay, let's count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're going to be like that. Count with me, and we say 1, 2. So the breathing exercises that work for us is we guide them into repetitive, whether it be the ABCs, whether it be counting. Counting usually works for us because our kids love numbers. And then double it. Use the palm, finger motion, and counting. And then show them how to breathe as well. We have the added advantage where in the pool, we can start with our blowing bubbles underwater. Kids love that. But that's something that you do.
Can I also give a suggestion? So I actually suffer from anxiety. So when I'm like feeling really anxious about something, in terms of breathing, like to ground myself, I always just put my feet on the floor and I think of like one thing that I can smell, one thing that I can see, one thing that I can feel, and like think of those things in my head and breathe through that. That really helps me. I don't know if people you've heard of that technique before, but it's like a really good grounding technique for me, and I always try to slow my breathing while thinking of one thing that I can smell, one thing that I can see, and one thing that I can feel.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. It's like a distraction almost. A distraction to put your mind on something else other than what you're thinking in that moment. If you're thinking about, I really want to do this, I really want to open this, whatever, I really want to get my computer open, I want to play this game, I want to start swimming, and a parent wants to relax, you want to take the focus off the excitement and put it back into something else. And what Shanika said, that is an excellent idea. You can incorporate that with children. Ask them the same questions that Shanique asked herself. Anything to take their focus off what it is that they are thinking about that's getting their breathing really high, that's going to calm them down. The key to that, and I know it's a little challenging these days, as instructors, as teachers, especially with those of us who work with special needs kids, it can be a little hard sometimes to get them calm down, but what we have to do as educators and parents is we have got to, above it all, remain calm and know that kids are going to feed off of how we are. So we can't ask a child to be calm if we are really hyper ourselves. We have to also calm ourselves down, and in turn, it'll help our baby.
I actually have to interject. So I looked at the time. It's now it's 4:30, and I actually didn't announce the secret word for someone to win the giveaway. I completely forgot about it. Speaking about anxiety, so forgive me for anybody. I was really anxious about this because it's the first time that we're doing it on a Friday. So I think that we'll have until 4:45 for someone to comment the secret word when I'm ready. So the secret word is what, Florencio?
Well, it's a word that calms me down every day. Swim. Very easy. Very calming. I hear the word swim and I calm down instantly because I have so many great memories of my team, the kids I work with. So swim is my relaxing word and the word of the day, swim.
So Shanique, you need to tell everybody what they should do with that secret word.
Yes, so hold on to that secret word, which is swim, like Florencia just said. And at the end, I will prompt someone to comment the secret word, which I'm not going to say anymore. So if you were here and you were viewing this live, you saw it. And at the end, I'll prompt when I'm ready for the secret word. And the first person to comment the secret word will win a combo pack of pom-poms.
Oh, very nice.
So they have to type it into the comment field, correct?
Yes. So you comment on the live stream the secret word when I announce it, and the first person to send the secret word over a comment will win a combo pack of pom-poms.
Cool.
Very good. Very, very good.
If you're done with us, if you wanted to go back to your questions, or did you have more stuff for us?
Well, I have questions for you, Florencio. You go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say to Lisa, hopefully you and Buster enjoyed it. Buster, hopefully you're relaxed and you're going to have a good rest of the day. Nice meeting you and working with you. And Lisa, thank you. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Florencio. That was really fun.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, Buster.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. It's back to just you and I, Florencio. That was nice. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always fun working with kids and getting their reaction and getting parents' reactions to what we do as well. And hopefully the parents watching and listening can pick up a few ideas and it'll help them through this time. Yes.
So my question actually for you, the next one, is related to the pandemic that we're going through right now. So what's been something that's been challenging for you and your organization during this time?
Well, I think the main challenging for organization is not being able to work with our kids. A lot of our kids, as I mentioned earlier, swimming is the only activity that they've either been allowed to be in or excelled in. A lot of our children have not been allowed to join other programs. We welcome everybody. And at swimming, they make their friends, it's routine, and they're really excelling in it. And them not being able to come to swimming and have that treat every week is really heartbreaking for us because even though we as adults can be a little frustrated, we know there's going to be the reasons why, and we know eventually there's going to be an end to this. For a child on the spectrum, or a child with special needs, or any child in general, but especially those with special needs, sometimes they don't have the mind capacity to understand what's going on. They just know it's Saturday, it's 10 a.m., why am I not at the pool? Yeah. And so that's been the hardest. And also, my staff is really close with me. We've been together for many, many years. When I decided to start Reach, they resigned from our jobs with me, and we started Reach together. So for the last 7 years, every single day practically, there's been maybe a few weeks of the last 7 years that we've been, have vacations. We see each other every single week. They've been in part of my lives. They're part of my family. And not being able to see them has been really challenging. All the business side of it, I don't like to discuss that because everybody's going through business. And I have to think of the positives knowing that we will be okay. But like every other small business, we're a very small business. Yeah. We're challenged. Are we going to be able when will we be able to get off the ground again? I have no doubt that we're going to survive this. I have no doubt that we're going to come out on top. I know that because my passion for the kids and what we do, we're going to find a way to make this work. So that part we're not worried. I just miss our kids. I really, really do.
I totally feel you on that. So me actually working with PunkinFutz has been really hard for me during this pandemic, not having that social interaction with everyone who works with us at PunkinFutz, from Lisa to Rebecca to David and Heartshare and everyone who we work with as a company. It's been really hard not to have that social interaction, even though we do see each other over like Zoom meetings and Uber conference and things like that. It's still really hard. So I totally
it's not the same. It's not the same. I don't think any of us ever would have imagined this. This is something that we've read about growing up. At least I did. I'm much older than you. We read about it in history classes, and I thought that could never happen. Never did I imagine we'd be living it, but thankfully we do have the technology that can keep us connected, at least, through technology. But more so you realize just how you need that social interaction, that one-to-one really, really does more for us than just being able to speak to somebody. It really feeds us. That's who we are.
Yes, and I have the same positivity for PunkinFutz as a business as well, that we will rise from this and we'll be, well and good after all of this is over. It'll take some time, obviously. That's how it is for every transition, but I have the same positivity, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we're here for you. We're here for you as you are for us, and for every small business out there, especially those working with special needs children across the country. We may be in Brooklyn, New York, and the Bronx, but we're here for you. We feel you. We understand our struggles are your struggles, and eventually our successes are going to be your successes, and we're going to do this together.
So actually, my next question is, do you have any tips for parents out there who might be watching for ways to help children let go of energy who are at home, in terms of like physical activity and things like that?
To have with them and to get some activity into their house. Any ideas? Yeah. I was speaking to some families this week, and I think if we have to be even more creative, these days. I think puzzles and hide and seek and tag can only go so far. So I have always suggested try to find a fun way to do the very basic essentials of every day. You're always going to cook. You're always going to pick up trash. You're always going to pick up your room. You're always going to do things like that. Try to make it a little bit more interactive, as best as you can. Try to make it a task for everything. Have a child, if you're making dinner, have them write it down. Have them write a recipe together, and then go scavenger through the house of different things, or even a little scavenger hunt. Anything that you can think of, you can turn into an activity. Working with children for the last 30 years, teaching swimming, the basics of swimming are pretty much the same. You can't really change that. You always have to figure out new and exciting ways to make the most basic activity fun. And what has worked for us is to make it an adventure. Give their mind a different place that you're going. Maybe you're cooking at your kitchen, but say, hey, you know what? We're going to cook spaghetti tonight. I say spaghetti a lot because that's my favorite. I love Italian food. We're going to cook spaghetti tonight. Where are we going to cook it at? Where does spaghetti come from? Or what country are we going to go to? And have your kids research that. They can go online. They can say, oh, we're going to be here. This is where we're going to eat. And maybe it might not be such a strenuous physical activity, but at least it's going to take their minds to another place and energize them as well in the confinements of their own home. So little things like that I think could be good. As far as other activities can go, physical activities, I think the most basic, get up and dance. I think we all need to dance these days, right? Put on some music and dance. Nobody's watching other than your kids. Put on some music, and dance around and have fun. It's something that will energize you. It'll be silly. It'll be fun. And I guarantee you, after all this is over, the one thing your child's going to remember is, remember when we danced? Remember when we had fun? Remember when we cooked spaghetti and went to Italy? They're not going to remember the heartache. They're not going to remember the sadness of the quarantine of why we're doing it. Let's put some good memories into their mind, and hopefully they'll come out of it with some fun and a smile as best they can. So
Lisa actually just asked, do you have any tips for parents who can't use Reach Swim if they are not in NYC as far as helping children overcome their fear of swimming / the water?
Oh, thank you for that question, because it's one of my top things I would always love to get people to get their children to swimming. Get your child some swim lessons. But I think before you get them the lessons, there are certain tips that you can do, whether you're in New York, Nebraska, where I was born and raised, California, wherever you're at. What I suggest you do is ask your friends first. Ask your friends that you trust, where do you take your child to swimming at? And then research that location. And the reason I'm talking about where to research it first is because it's very important. Research it. Go to that place. Look at the instructors. Look at the way they connect to their kids. Look, and more importantly, how big are their classes. Our classes are no more than 3 kids max, and it's very key. So make sure you go to that place and make sure that they have a smaller group of classes. It may cost a little bit more, but I guarantee you it's going to be worth it, because you want to have a low ratio of student to teacher so that way they can learn better. So that would be the main thing. And if you're not close to swimming lessons, if you're not close to somewhere you can have lessons, watch videos. Talk positively about swimming. If you're a parent who doesn't know how to swim, or you have fears of water, kids are going to take that from you. They're going to learn that from you. So as hard as it may sound, try to let your kids know, say, Mom and Dad don't know how to swim, but we're going to make you learn how to swim. We're going to have you learn to swim, and watch videos and talk positively about swimming. And that, trust me, when you're able to take those swim lessons, they're going to be more excited for them.
Is there an age that's too late to learn how to swim?
No, I learned to swim at 26. I nearly drowned when I was a little boy in Nebraska. I nearly drowned at 2.5 years old. I was terrified of water until I was 26 years old. And it was a opportunity in my career that if I wanted a promotion, I had to learn how to swim. And it took me nearly a year to learn, because I had to go through all those fears. But you're never too late. I've taught people who are 80 years old how to swim. It's never too late. Never, never too late. Not with the right instructor. Find the right instructor, and you'll get exactly what you need.
I love that reassurance.
Yes.
So actually, we're coming up on the last 2 minutes of this live stream, and it's been awesome. So thank you so much for doing this. Do you have any closing remarks? Anything that you'd like to say to parents who might be watching?
Well, to all you parents, we're in some really unique times, but understand and know that you are your child's most important instructor. You're your child's most teacher, and you already have it in with your child. Know that you're supportive. Know that I support all the parents out there going through this. You can do this. All your children needs reassurance from you that they're going to be okay. And if you just be yourself, take a big breath yourself, relax, you're going to be successful. And good luck to everybody out there from New York, from the Bronx. Our heart goes out to the whole country.
So people can reach you here at Reach Swim on Instagram, right?
Correct. At Reach Swim on Instagram.
Okay, and your Facebook is Reach Swim Academy, correct?
Exactly. Facebook is Reach Swim Academy. Twitter and Instagram is at Reach Swim. And then if you get confused, you can go to reachswim.org, and a link to all of our social media platforms are on our homepage.
I love that. And next week, for anyone who is watching, next week we will have Lisa Lewis on Friday for children who's going to teach us circus activities for at home.
Very nice.
Super fun and awesome. And thank you so much to Florencio for today and for being our first guest on Fridays at 4. We really loved this, and we really had fun. And I'm sure that Lisa and Buster also really enjoyed it. So thank you again so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Bye,
Have a good night. Bye.
You too. Good night. Bye-bye.